What's up, my slashers and scream queens? Welcome to the Horror Daddies podcast. I'm the Horror Daddy himself, Carlos, and today with me I have
your film daddy, John,
and your baby daddy, Sid.
And we have a very special guest today.
Very special guest.
Which I don't know what kind of daddy he is, but nerd daddy. Franky.
Hey guys.
And today we watched the 2009 Trick or Treat.
Yeah, we did, and it was fantastic.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's really fucking good. Like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
we're doing it because this is Franky's favorite movie. Well, we didn't do it because it's his favorite movie. We did it to do it, but it happens to be his favorite movie. That's why he's here today.
yeah, he's joining us because it's that great.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah,
his horror movie.
Horror movie, yes.
So
but
you're here.
Right now we're just gonna start off with what we think about it without any spoilers. If you guys, because you guys definitely need to watch this if you want the experience of the movie.
For sure.
Yeah.
And this was directed and written by Michael Dougherty. Sorry if I say that wrong. He's worked on Krampus, Superman Returns, Godzilla, King of Monsters, X-Men Apocalypse, and the X-Men United.
That's cool. Oh, the old X-Men, the first three. I think that's the third movie.
So if you guys are a fan of those movies, he's the reason why.
Yeah. So, yeah, what do you guys think about the movie? Because I fucking loved it. Franky.
Take it away.
Way to put me in the spot now. I really do like this movie because, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to say it, but it is an anthology. Yeah. I feel like with that, you get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You get something cute, something nice, something creepy, and something that spooks you a little.
Yeah, it's kind of like Halloween. Like, you just, it's everything. You get a bunch of things in one.
So it basically revolves around the night of Halloween, and so we get a little bit of everything that has to do with Halloween itself. So yeah, what about you?
There's definitely parts where like I'm like holding the person next to me, like, oh my god, what's happening? But in the end, I think it's kind of a cute movie.
It's fun. It's a fun.
Yeah,
it's a very fun movie to watch.
I think it's a movie that deserves a rewatch every Halloween.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
I feel like it's one of those movies where if you're at a sleepover with friends, it's the perfect movie to watch. It's not too scary. It's not too goofy. I think it's very like perfect. It is rated R, so
not for kids.
But I feel like
not for Mormons either.
But I feel like it's one of those movies where it's like, it's okay to let your kids watch it. I feel
there's
like
just,
it's
I mean,
there's titties for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, there's like
fine.
we'll talk about that. We have the titty counter.
God.
There's no blood either. Like there's blood, but it's like I feel like it's a mother.
It's not like a Friday the 13th type of movie.
Yeah,
and you don't really see anybody die.
Yeah, there's no gore.
Yeah.
So it's just fun.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. I think it's a movie that deserves every year to be seen as a tradition. Because it's fantastic. I think we saw it last year together.
Well, I show it to everybody that I know that hasn't seen it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a great movie.
This is my first time watching it.
Yeah. So.
And also, I think Sam is super adorable.
Yeah.
Oh my
the mascot for the character.
So
oh my god,
cute.
I would adopt him.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if he's a little psychopath.
I think if I ever have kids someday, I 100% dressing him up every year.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Until he grows over like 5 feet.
No. Every year.
So right now we're gonna go into the spoiler territory.
Yes.
So if you don't want to, any spoils, watch the movie, please, and then come back, leave a 5-star rating, and then also leave us a detailed description of what you liked about the podcast.
Yeah.
And then you can listen to the rest of the podcast.
Nothing about what you didn't like.
Yeah, nothing.
We don't need that negativity.
We don't need. Yeah, no. This is 2020. It's already been a shithole.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the first story. We're gonna try our best to tell the story in orderly fashion.
Yes.
But so we're gonna try our best. Okay.
Yeah. So this movie has like 4 stories. They don't count the first one, I guess, as a whole, because technically it would be 5.
Yeah.
So we are gonna go through it in order, but there are some scenes that cut back and forth. So we might just tell the story as a whole in a way, and then we'll tell the next story. So bear with us.
Yeah, we'll try our best, but you definitely need to watch the movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. So the movie begins with this couple, Emma and Henry. Emma's dressed like a robot, which looks like she made her costume from
it's like cardboard. It's really cute.
But I like it, yeah.
She's wearing like sweats underneath.
Yeah. And then her husband is like a knight. It looks like he just went to Party City last minute. So they're getting home, I guess, from partying, from a Halloween party or something, because they're like, I'm lit. And they're both lit. So then she's complaining. She looks like she's tired and she just wants to get over the night. But she also just wants to get rid of her Halloween decorations because her mom...
How cranky? You're so cranky.
Right,
What the fuck?
Girl, she's one of those that puts the Christmas tree on November 1st. I hate people. So her mom is coming, so she decides to blow out the jack-o'-lantern, which pisses off someone across the street.
Yeah, we see like a first person, like kind of like the old Halloween, which we'll see in the future.
And
but
some heavy breathing.
Yeah, heavy breathing. So we see someone's perspective.
You hear him gasp. Do you hear?
He was like, "This bitch just did not just do that.
Yes.
Not even do that." So she blows out the jack-o'-lantern. Sorry.
I mean, same thing.
Yeah. And then she's telling her husband how she just wants to get rid of the Halloween decorations right away, and the husband just wants to get down.
He wants to get freaky.
And I will say that if it was me, I would have been like, honey, we're doing this right now in the porch.
Oh.
Get it together now, okay? I'm here.
Sorry. He was fine. So she's like, no, I have to really do this. And then she kind of like looks at him and is like, you know what? Just put on the tape. Wait for me upstairs.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, their tape is porn. So...
In case you didn't get that.
Might not be that good because he falls asleep waiting for her
Yeah.
in the middle of the movie. So it's like, so I guess the porn wasn't that good.
Yeah, it was
that's
whack
because
porn.
it wasn't me.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so she starts taking down the Halloween decorations, and like they have like these scarecrow type of ghost outside. Like they're covered in white blankets, but it's like a cross with like a blanket over it, so it looks like a ghost.
It's just like a fixture, pretty much. That does the shape of like a person.
Yes. So like the way she's taking them down, they're making you think that something's gonna pop out of one of them or something.
God. It's like really aggressive tearing down of the sheets.
Yeah, like the special effects, like the sounds very loud. You're like, oh my god, something's gonna pop up.
Like she really hates Halloween.
Yes.
And I hate her.
Every single pull down is like, oh my god, it's a jump scare.
Yeah, like, it's so scary.
Yeah. So then, like, I think she does like 3 of those, and you're just like, when the fuck is this gonna happen? And then at the
which it might be foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In a way. Well, spoiler alert. Yeah.
Spoiler.
So when she takes down the last one, the third one, then she's gonna go throw it in a box, and when she like dumps the blanket in the box, somebody just pops out of the box, which is a big jump scare in the beginning.
I've seen this movie like 3 times, and it still gets me.
I still jump.
Because it's so loud.
It's so loud.
Yeah, it's a really good jump scare. Like it's warranted.
Yeah,
like,
and she's like getting beat up in a way. Whatever's under the blanket's like, bitch, you hate Halloween, people, I hate you. And then you see that she's trying to get away, and then you see like the pumpkin, the pumpkin lollipop that's bitten in half, like sharp.
It's like a lollipop that the actual lollipop is shaped like a pumpkin, and but it's like bitten off.
Yeah, which we know it's Sam by now, but
yeah.
So it slices her throat, and these kids are walking up to them. They're like, "Oh, did this lady just get murdered in front of us?" And the other kid's like, "Yeah, she sure did." And they're like, "You know what? We should run." And then they run. Yeah, they don't say that, but you know, I'm adding dramatic effect for y'all.
No, they stop to have a conversation before they run away.
Oh yeah.
So they run away, and then you see that she's getting dragged, and it cuts to the husband upstairs. He kind of like wakes up, and he's like, where's my wife? Why is she not sucking my dick right now? So he goes downstairs to investigate, and as he's coming out, it's like the decorations are still up, and he's like, where the fuck is she? He looks over, and he sees like a hand and a leg, and it's like dripping blood.
Yeah.
And if you look closely, it's like her wedding hand, because you can see her wedding ring. And the figure, one of the scarecrow type of figures, lights up, and he looks behind him, and when he takes off the white blanket, it's her.
Yeah.
Which there's also a bloody hand and a bloody leg in the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it cuts to the title card, but you do see a little how do I say it? Can't think of the word.
What is it? Describe it.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word I wanted to say.
What? Describe
like
it.
a little I want to say the lollipop thing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say it with
a gag?
word. No, never mind.
Wait, no, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the fuck. I can't think of the word.
Lollipop?
No, I know the lollipop, but I wanted to say it in a very
a gag ball?
No, I want to say
Hockey puck?
dramatically, but I can't think of the word right now, so just never fucking mind. So after he finds the wife dead, we get the title card. So it starts going through like a comic book type of credits.
Yeah, it's like It looks like it's just a legit
and if you
Marvel comic.
pay attention a little bit, it's kind of showing us the stories we're gonna see throughout the movie. And then it starts off with the news in the town.
Yeah, so we get like some news, and then this is gonna be when Sydney takes over.
Yeah, so we see a news reporter and a party going on in, what is it, like the main Street?
Yeah, it's in
basically.
Ohio. It's like downtown.
Yeah, I
Ohio.
think that's like they're really big on Halloween in that town.
Yeah, which I have never seen any city be this big in Halloween.
Actually, downtown gets pretty lit.
Really?
Yeah, no, downtown Orlando gets lit in Halloween. So
I mean, I've never seen it, but it's awesome.
It doesn't look this lit though. I feel like this one's really.
They're like
lit.
partying, like it's New Year's Eve.
Well, I feel like the Midwest, there's just nothing else to do.
I guess that's true.
Sorry, Midwest.
we love you.
Oh, imagine.
Wait,
a
Ohio's
party-
up north.
Oh, yeah, right.
Ohio?
Ohio is right underneath Michigan.
Yeah.
Isn't that the west? Isn't
That's
that the
up
mid?
north. That's up north.
So
that's
middle,
mid.
Middle north.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's mid
But not
and
mid
west.
west.
But it's mid and west.
It's literally Eastern time.
It's west.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, so we failed geography in school.
I didn't. Y'all failed.
I mean, you did agree with me at first, so then we cut to a costume.
Yeah, it's like a
Store?
little store. It's like a
It's
party
like a
city.
Halloween
Yeah,
store,
like
yeah.
here it would be Party City. I don't know if
Party City, Spirit Halloween.
yeah,
last
something
minute.
like that.
Yeah.
And there's a little kid in a bear costume with a lollipop, and which I think is a little nod to Sam.
Which it's actually the actor that plays
Oh,
Sam.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
really cool.
Yeah, that's a
He's-
fun
That is
fact.
very cool. Okay, so then he goes into the dressing area and is like being a little peeping Tom.
yeah, he just wants to see some ass. I don't blame him. Like, he just really
Hey.
wants.
But he's like 6, 7, maybe 8.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Okay, and then we meet 4 girls. Their names are Danielle, who's dressed up as Cinderella, Lori, who's dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood, Maria, who's dressed up as Snow White, and Janet, who's dressed up as Bo Peep.
Which you're killing it too. Like they're like legit costumes.
Oh,
they
they
look
look good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're hot as hell.
I mean, yeah.
All of them.
Well, you remember
They-
the price for the costumes? They were expensive costumes
yeah.
too.
They
I don't
spent like
remember-
$200.
It's $270 something.
Yeah.
I don't know
No,
if she's
no,
paid.
I
I think
think-
she's paid for everybody.
Yeah, she
Okay.
paid for all the girls. So divided, it's
That's
like
not that bad.
$80 a costume though.
And that's still not that bad.
I'm cheap this year.
Me too. Okay, so then the girl in the Cinderella costume, Danielle, invites the cashier to a party. She's like flirting with him. He's stumbling over his words,
Yeah,
talking
he's
to
like a
her.
little nerdy.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, come to a party on Sheep's Cross."
I also want to put that. Isn't it Danielle and Lori? They're sisters.
Yes.
Yeah, they are
Oh,
sisters,
yeah.
and then Lori is the one dressed as Red Riding Hood, and she's not feeling too confident about it. But her
No.
sister is like, "Oh, you'll be fine. It looks nice or whatever."
Yeah, she's not confident, and she's also she just seems like she's not confident about the whole night, like
Yeah.
not just the Halloween
Because
costume.
I think she's like a virgin still.
Yeah, and she is
Unquote.
she is the she's the little sister of Danielle or Cinderella. So there's also a vampire picture in the background, which I thought was pretty cool and possibly foreshadowing. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Didn't
I
even
did not
notice
catch
that.
that. Good catch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cute.
that was good.
Okay, and then so now they're walking outside with their costumes on, and Cinderella is talking to Lori. So Danielle's talking to Lori, and she's basically like, "You always wait for them to come to you. Maybe if you tried a little harder, you wouldn't be a virgin at 22."
Jesus
Which
Christ.
rhymes, first of all.
Yeah.
Poetry.
Oh my god.
Total poetry.
Also,
and
don't
then-
be ashamed to be a virgin at 22.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
for
nothing
real.
wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
Be you, boo. Be you. Whatever.
Yeah. And then later on, Maria and Janet, the girls dressed up as Snow White and Bo Peep, are like, "Here, look, watch this." And they go over and they find the news cruise.
News cruise?
News
The
cruise.
news cruise?
Imagine a news cruise.
Yeah. That sounds
That sounds awful.
fake media.
They find the news crew like loading up their van, and they're being flirty, and they're like, "Oh, you want to go to a party at Sheep's Cross?" And they agree, and it cuts.
Well, before we cut, can
Yeah.
I just say, like, I know this has nothing to do with horror, but the lady from Snow White, she played Denise Porter in White Chicks, And can I say that she plays a news lady in White Chicks, and here she goes trying to get at the cameraman?
Yeah, that's
so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the Little Red Riding Hood girl as what was it that she played in X-Men?
She's Rogue.
Rogue.
And
Oh
X-Men.
my god.
Yeah.
So it's Anna Paquin from X.
She's
Anna
yeah,
Paquin.
killing
She
it in her
is so
costume
hot.
too.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
She looks super good.
So now we get my story, and my story has this overweight kid named Charlie walking down the street, and he's breaking pumpkins, being a bad boy.
Which I want to just punch him in the face. Like he just has a punchable face.
He does.
He
He
really
really
does.
does.
He
He looks like Carrot Top, but
But
sorry, I'm trying not to be offensive, but he's a big boy.
You
Yeah.
hate him instantly.
yeah.
Not because he's fat, but because
No,
he's
he's just like a
breaking
little
pumpkins.
shit. He's a little shit.
Which also there's I don't know if it's a deleted scene, but it was like an additional feature where at this point Sam comes up to him and just flicks him off, which is totally out of
It's
character and
hilarious.
so cute.
Yeah.
Can I also point out that kid looks like the guy from Matilda? Remember the little boy that they make eat the cake? The chocolate
Like
cake?
Ginger.
Yeah, they
It's
look
Ginger.
the same.
Yeah.
Oh god.
He actually,
Okay.
I think he looks like the fat kid from the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah,
the original
Augustus.
movie. Yeah, Augustus.
Oh, maybe
yes.
that's an
Augustus.
homage. Because
Maybe.
this director
Yeah, there's
does
a lot of
homages to a
Yeah.
lot of movies.
There's a lot of homages, a lot of Easter eggs. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I love
Like,
this movie.
Yeah.
So he gets to a house, which we're gonna find out is Principal Wilkins' house,
Mhm.
and he has a little candy stand outside, and it says just take one, but this kid decides to grab a lot, and Principal Wilkins catches him, and it's like that's not good for you. And
Your
I get
diabetes.
because he has diabetes. So he's giving him a speech about Halloween and traditions and the rules of Halloween and how you should respect the dead and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this kid starts eating one of the chocolate bars. He kind of like starts like feeling it like it doesn't feel good or whatever.
Yeah, his thought he can hear like gargling.
Yeah.
It's really gross. Like he
Yeah.
just starts like he sounds like he's in
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah, and then out of nowhere, this kid just starts throwing up. But when I say throwing up, it's kind of like The Exorcist throwing up in Scary Movie 2 when she just throws up everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Not
so
that dramatic,
gross.
but you know, to that extent.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's so much.
And as he's throwing up, the principal tells him, always check your candy.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's just
which-
like chilling next to him.
Which is one of the Halloween rules,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But also when he first like seems to not be feeling good, the professor is very fake, like, oh, are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
what's
Like, what's
wrong?
You can tell in his face that he's not like a good guy.
Yeah,
The principal.
yeah, yeah.
Like you
He-
can tell right away, like he gives me that bio is like, no,
he
let's
has a
stay away
shade,
from
he has
me.
a very shady
yeah,
face.
like a shady face,
Yeah,
yeah.
he looks kind of like a pedophile. So when the principal comes inside, he's trying to bring the fat kid inside with him, and you know you kind of see like he kind of throws up as he's coming inside with
It's
the
so gross. It's like
Mm-hmm.
all over him.
Mhm.
Ugh,
Ugh.
disgusting.
and you can tell that the kid was throwing up blood when he was throwing up because now it's in the light, so you see like the red on
Yeah,
his shirt.
because like outside is really dark, so
Yeah.
it just looks.
it looks like chocolate.
Yeah,
when
it
he
It
was
just looks
eating.
like chocolate, yeah.
yeah.
And these trick or treaters knock on the door, and they're like knocking super loud, being obnoxious.
And I fucking hate trick or treaters like that. Like
Entitled little
you
kids. Like,
entitled little shits.
like, hey, it's so annoying.
But they need a jack-o'-lantern, I guess, for UNICEF. That's what they said, and I wouldn't have believed them, but whatever. So he gives them candy.
I'd have been like, no, it's my jack-o'-lantern, you little shit.
Fuck.
First you try to bang down my door, now you want my pumpkin?
Yeah, hell no. Get the fuck out of
And
here.
as he's giving them candies, one of the kids who's dressed like a pirate notices that he looks suspicious, like he did something, and I think he sees what's behind him. But I guess he's so nervous that he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he sees like the trail going in.
Mm-hmm.
But they also are like scared at first. Like they scream when he opens the
But
door.
they
and
start
sees all the
laughing, I
blood.
think, 'cause-
Yeah, and then they see
Because they think
they think it's a
realize,
costume.
yeah. And after the kids leave, then we see Sam for the first time. I think this is the first
I
time
think
we
it's the
see
first
him.
time that we see him.
Yeah, and he's looking super cute in his little overalls.
Yeah, he's like this big ass head, like
Yeah.
little. It's like scarecrow kind of thing,
Mhm.
right? And he just like gets candy and
Yeah,
walks
he
away.
takes his candy like really fast and walks away. And as he's walking down the stairs, you hear like a cat screeching in his bag.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
super
yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
We see Wilkins. Is it going outside? And we see him that he's dragging a body to a grave.
Yeah, and there's like already a hole there.
Yeah, there's already a hole. He already has another body in there. So
Yeah.
he's like, okay, he's murdered kids already this night. And as he's throwing the body inside, we see that his kid shows up over the window, like being fucking annoying, saying, Dad!
He's kind of cute though.
I hate
Come
him.
on.
Fucking annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really annoying.
Are you gonna help me carve the pumpkin? And then his dad tells him to go watch Charlie Brown. He's like, Charlie Brown's an asshole.
Brown's an asshole. That's so funny.
And I will say that this kid looks just like Chucky, redhead.
Yeah.
What do you call those?
Like he has like overalls, and then he has like the undershirt that's like kind of colorful.
Yeah, striped undershirt, just like Chucky. And he's creepy like Chucky too.
Which I don't doubt this is an homage to Chucky.
No, I'm pretty sure it is. So as he's trying to like basically dig his grave, we see that the neighbor's dog starts barking over, and he's like trying to get the dog to shut up. And so he cuts one of the kid's fingers off the body and throws it to the dog.
It's so dark.
So but then we see the neighbor come out.
Yes, and he's trying to see like what he's doing over there. And
he's in the hole.
He's in the hole, like, it's the septic tank, you know. And he's like, "Is that what that smell is?" He goes, "Yeah." As one of the kids wakes up screaming, he's like, "Oh fuck!" And he starts kicking the kid in the head.
He's also trying to hide the red blood stain.
Yeah,
on his
so,
shirt.
that's why so he's like crouching in the hole trying to hide his shirt. And his neighbor's like, "Well, you better get that fixed, bitch, because it smells." And so the neighbor kind of just leaves. He goes back
he kind of
inside.
just go back inside. Yeah.
And this is when he finished. So it cuts to him finishing just a hole. There's a gnome over the.
Oh yeah, because he says Happy Halloween. Then the old man's like grumpy. He's like, screw you.
Yeah, screw you.
Screw you.
So then it cuts to like the grave being already like.
He already buried the body.
Yes.
Everything's good.
Yeah, he planted a tree.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you hide your bodies.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Not that I know.
Yeah. Your garden's looking mighty well, Carlos.
So as he's going inside, he looks over and his neighbor's like banging on the window saying help.
Oh
me,
yeah,
help
he's screaming
me.
for help.
Yeah, and then that's when he says, "Well, screw you, Mr. Cree." And
yeah.
you see that Mr. Cree gets attacked by something, and then he just goes inside.
Yeah.
And as he's going inside, he's calling out for his son, Billy. And this is when Billy decides to actually turn into Chucky and just jump at him.
It's
which is
so
super loud.
Oh my god.
Loud.
I feel like most of the jump scares in this movie were just it being really loud.
Yeah, I think and that one was like over the top. Like it's so
I feel
crazy.
like they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
so,
I think so too.
Jump scares, this is what they like to do. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then at this point, you just realize, I mean, like, you saw that the kid was annoying before, but now you see that the kid is so fucking annoying.
And he's creepy, too.
And you can tell his dad is very annoyed with the kid.
Yeah, because
it's like,
I forgot to mention, when he's, like, burying the hole, he's like, "Oh, Dad, help me with this. Dad, help me with that. Dad."
I like mocking the kid.
This kid's so annoying. And, so he goes inside and the kid's like, "So you're gonna help me with the pumpkin?" Or what does he say? Like with
He
the
says,
I need help with the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
"Oh, we're gonna carve the pumpkin.
Yeah.
Remember, I need help with the eyes. Which he says over and over again.
Yeah, he does. And we're going downstairs to the basement. We notice that Wilkin Doe grabs a knife from the kitchen. He's walking behind the kid, and you're thinking like, "Oh my god, is he about to kill his kid too?"
Mm-hmm.
And they get to wherever, you don't see what they're in front of, and the dad has the knife and he has the knife over the kid.
It's which I love this scene, like
because it really makes you think he's gonna kill this kid.
Yeah,
it's
like
fucked.
this whole scene, I'm like grabbing Carlos's leg, like, oh my god.
Oh god, it's really
so.
Well
Then
shot.
and the kid goes real creepy, like, "Don't forget to help me with the eyes." And then that's like, "No problem," or whatever. And then the dad picks up the knife and you hear the stab, and you hear like it stabs
crunchy.
skin.
Ugh.
Yeah, it stabs skin, and you're like, "Well, there goes his kid."
Yep.
And it zooms out, and it happens to be the Charlie kid from before.
Yeah, and when he pulls the knife up, it's also like all bloody, so you're like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
he killed his kid."
Yeah.
But yeah, it ends up being a decapitated head
Yes,
of the
Charlie.
little fat kid.
Yes.
Yeah, or big kid, whatever. I don't.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. And then
Bleep
that.
it out.
Yeah. And then that's when that story is done from. Oh, actually, so then after this, so the dad, I forgot to mention earlier, the dad said he's going into the town earlier, but he doesn't want his kid to go, and we don't know why.
Yeah, he just
He
goes,
said
"I
he
have
had-
a date." He has a date.
He has a date. So then we do cut to that date in the town. Everyone's celebrating, goes through an alley.
wait, before we leave that scene, I have a fan theory.
Yes.
I mean, my theory at least is that the reason they never explain why he's killing kids. I guess he just gets a kick out of it. I believe he kills kids because he wants to kill his own kid, but he can't.
I
that's
was
true.
thinking the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
Yeah, because he seems very annoyed and very stressed, and it makes you think like I feel like that whole little story can be a whole movie because they never explain where's the mom.
No, yeah,
They
he's,
don't see anything.
He says, "Oh, why the mom died?"
yeah, like he's making
Oh,
fun
they
of him.
do?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, but they, he seems very annoyed, and I feel like he can't kill his own kid because it's gonna look wrong because he's the principal. So he just killing kids in Halloween.
Other people's kids, like it's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Once it's your own, it's like fuck. He's kind of cute.
Also, he's grooming his kid.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Completely.
Well, he obviously knows. I mean, they were carving a kid's head off. Like,
yeah, no, that's what I'm
he's
saying.
A little shit.
He's grooming.
He's showing his kid how to be a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is when it cuts to my story, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it cuts to the 3 kids that showed up to Principal Wilkes' house. They're like knocking at someone else's door, and it ends up being like a teacher orgy party, like Halloween orgy party, and they're like all drunk, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And it's that whole scene is pretty funny because like the teacher's flirting with these little kids, and it's kind of weird, but it's funny at the same time. But they're asking for jack-o'-lanterns, and they're all pretty much collecting jack-o'-lanterns for an offering, and we don't know why exactly. But then they go to this little girl's house.
Sorry. When the drunk teacher opens the door, if you look inside, there's a hot dog humping a bunny. Just keep the hot dog in mind, and I'll give you a little detail later in another scene.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did. Yeah.
I saw it, and then I was like, "Wow!" Like that's actually kind of cool. What you guys are doing here?
Really? Okay. So we meet 4 of the kids, which is Macy Schrader or
Schroeder, who turns out to be fucking gorgeous now.
Yeah, he's a handsome man now.
Yeah.
And Sarah and Chip. Which Chip was the little pirate kid from the original story, but anyways, they're gonna meet up this one girl, and when they go to her house, she has an awesome fucking decorated house, which is like a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns everywhere.
It's basically a pumpkin patch, but just a pumpkin jack-o'-lantern patch.
Yeah, exactly. And this little girl is like this, and she looks antisocial, a little anxious, like girl.
She's me.
Yeah, no. But she is dressed as a witch, and it's really cute. She's an adorable kid, and she's really shy. And I think that she has like a little crush on Schrader. They're collecting jack-o'-lanterns for an offering.
Yes.
They go to this like rock quarry.
Yes.
And then they're like, "Oh, what are we doing here?" It's like super creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're all like, "Oh, is this when it happened? Oh, is this the?" And then they're like, "Don't talk about it."
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually they start talking about it, like 2 seconds later.
Yeah, Macy's a fucking bitch and is like, "Are you gonna let me tell the story?"
Yeah, like, all right, Macy.
She wants to be the center of attention. Like, girl, you need to relax. Okay, there's more people in here.
Literally sounds like Carla.
Sorry.
But this is when she starts talking about the Halloween school bus massacre, which is I think a nod of
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
But it happened 30 years prior, I'm assuming 2019, or 2009, sorry. And pretty much she tells a story which has a great transition where it's like a little leaf falling onto the screen, and it transitions to the story. So it's like all a sepia tone, kind of orangey.
You would notice that.
It's great. I'm sorry.
It is a great transition.
It's pretty cool.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
She's talking about how there's this bus, the short bus. It's like mentally challenged kids.
Yeah, just special kids. I think there's just special kids. They don't specify what's wrong with them. I just think it's just special kids.
Yeah, they don't outright say it, but it's pretty implied that they're really disturbed.
They do use the R word a lot.
Yeah,
they even say it to Rhonda, which is like the witch girl. She's kind of weird.
Yeah, and they call her, pretty much the word. And pretty much the whole story is that there was the short bus, was kept with these special needs kids, and the parents were really embarrassed with those kids. So one day they grabbed those kids and made a deal with the bus driver, and she implies that every day he takes the same road until one day when they made the deal with him, he takes another road, and you see the kids like. One kid is like counting each like zip code, every house, and then eventually he like instead of making a right, he turns left, and he goes wrong. Wrong turn? Yeah, wrong way or something. Wrong way. He keeps repeating it, and the parents, they're like so embarrassed about these kids that they just want to get rid of them. And then the bus driver stops at the rock quarry that they're at, and he makes sure that everyone's chained up, which is fucking strange. And he like pulls on the chains for each kid and leaves the candy. Like, good job. Oh, and I forgot to mention, these kids are wearing like the creepiest fucking mask because they're like homemade. Like, I don't know if you guys have time to Google like old timey Halloween costumes. It's the creepiest
Which I
fucking
think
thing.
if it's the time that where this happened is from.
Yeah, because it's like 30 years since the movie came out. So.
I believe so.
And I think, and also it comes out that the kids are special, so I wouldn't be surprised if the kids actually made their own costumes.
Yeah. So it looks a little creepier because...
Yeah.
Because I feel like the movie doesn't really give us the year that it actually is.
It says 30 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, it tells us this happened 30 years, but the actual movie itself that night doesn't tell us what year it is.
It also, it says 30 years before, and then as they're passing one road, it stops and you see Sam on the side of the road, like poking at something dead.
Oh, yeah.
And I was kind of like, this kid has been a kid for a long time.
Yeah, so it's like, so it's assumed that Sam is like some
a spirit,
entity.
and he only comes out on Halloween for that town. So he's the spirit of that town on Halloween.
So, again, he's like making sure the kids are chained up, and then there's one kid dressed up as like Dracula, and he starts freaking out, and he like loosens up like his chains. And we don't see him. We see the bus driver kind of again checking everyone. So he's at the very back of the bus, and then we see the car get turned on, and it's the kid that's dressed up as Dracula, turning on the car, and then just fucking drives off the fucking the rock quarry.
Yeah,
and then
he's freaking out that he wants to go home.
He's like, I need to go home, and he just fucking drives off the cliff. And then it goes like, it does like a little zoom onto down the cliff, and it's like filled with water, and the bus is just drowning. And then all you see is the mask just, it's so fucking dark. It's really fucked up. Like, it's so dark. And then it cuts back to
transitions over, like it starts going up the cliff and it transitions to what now.
Yeah, exactly. And then so all the Macy, Schrader, Rhonda, Sarah, and Chip are there, and pretty much what it is that they're bringing the jack-o'-lanterns to pretty much pay respects. It's 8 jack-o'-lanterns for the 8 victims.
Yes.
Because
one for each.
It's all 8 kids died that night. The driver survived, but they never knew what happened with him. Like he just never reemerged.
Yeah, Macy says that we never knew what happened to the driver, but then you see him emerge and he's like heavy breathing, like clinging onto the rocks, and then that's all we get from him.
So now we get like we're back in the town, and when everyone's celebrating, everyone's drunk, everyone's in a parade or whatever, and it kind of the camera goes through an alley, and in this alley we have this guy and this girl. This guy's dressed like a vampire, and this girl's dressed like a old timey from medieval times looking girl, and they're making out
medieval whore.
Heyo.
Oh Lord,
a harlot.
A harlot.
And they're making out. It's very sexual. He's kissing her everywhere, but as he's kissing her everywhere, you start noticing blood on her. So he's been biting her or whatever.
But as they're making out at first, she says, "Let's go get another drink," and he ignored her. And
pins her to the wall.
Yeah, just pins her to the wall and keeps kissing her.
Yeah. So this is when he starts kissing down her arm and her neck and stuff, and you kind of see blood. So she notices it, and she's like starts to freak the fuck out, and it kind of pans out, and he's a vampire. Yeah. We don't know if he's a real vampire or not. We just see like sharp ass teeth. Yeah, you see sharp teeth. We're like, oh shit, there's vampires in this story.
He has like piercing blue eyes too. Like it's like crazy blue eyes.
Kind of cute actually.
Yeah.
So she starts to try to run away, and I like this scene because it kind of looks like the scene from I Know What You Did Last Summer. I forgot the character's name, but it's the blonde chick. She plays Daphne in Scooby-Doo. Her character. Yeah. She's running through the alley, and she's trying to get help, and in the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer, she doesn't make it. Okay. So it kind of looks like this scene where she's running through the alley, but she makes it to the parade, and she's looking for help. And she grabs this lady's arm, and it's actually the robot lady from before. So these stories are kind of like intertwining with each other.
Yeah, so they meet at the party.
And so no, she doesn't help her. They just think she's drunk and crazy, and she turns around and the vampire gets her. And it cuts to black, and then it cuts to her on the side of of a store, just sitting there. Yeah, just sitting there with a group of drunk people on the floor, so people don't notice that she's dead.
Yeah, and it's Halloween, so she blends in.
She blends in with the blood and stuff, which is such a dangerous holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then it cuts to the 3 girls again, and they leave Lori behind because she needs to find a date still for the party, and her older sister Danielle, dressed up as Cinderella, is worried about Lori being on her own, which Lori is the girl that's dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood.
Lori sees a lot of couples. Like they pan the camera around and she sees like a bunch of couples.
Oh yeah, she's like, fuck, why can't I get some?
Yeah, every time she goes to try to talk to someone, like they end up
something
having
happens.
Yeah, it's either a woman or someone that's already taken.
Yeah, everybody's like coupled up.
Yeah.
Which my favorite one is the horse one, because you see like those like costumes where it's like obviously like the man is in the or the person's in the front, and then she goes to go talk to him and the girl is like being the ass of the horse, which is so strange.
Hey, maybe she likes eating ass.
Hey, that's true. No
Good
judgment.
for her.
No judgment.
No.
Do you, boo? Do you?
Woman power. Okay, and then it cuts to her sister Cinderella, who is obviously like worried about Lori, and she's waiting by a tree.
Yeah, because she's in the forest. Like there's an event happening at the forest.
They're having like a party, like a campfire party.
Campfire party. She's looking out onto the road to like see when her sister's coming back. The cashier guy that sold them the costumes is coming over and trying to like be sexy and kiss her neck, and she just looks so disgusting. She's like, I am so not into you right now.
Yeah, it's so funny. She's like ignoring him.
He's actually pretty hot nowadays.
No.
I looked him up.
Did you also notice that she's like, not now, Andrew, and he goes like, my name is
Josh.
I'm like, oh, so you done this before, girl, right?
It's happened.
It's just
Sorry.
like, it's so obvious that she definitely brought him here for another reason.
Yeah.
Because she's not into him. And then we hear howling. And that's when it transitions to the kids again.
So then we hear the howling from the last story, and you know they're talking about going down the quarry, and Rhonda wants to go down, or I'm sorry, Macy, Sarah, and Schrader go down, and they're like, "Oh, this elevator can only hold
Three safely.
Three safely, yes,
She
correct."
says like that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like a little like cheap elevator thing.
Yeah.
It's like an industrial elevator that goes
Like
down the quarry.
construction ones.
It looks very old.
Yeah, so the three, Sarah, Schrader, and Macy go down, and they're waiting, and then it just goes up. It
goes back up, and then that's when Rhonda and Chip go in.
Well,
Yeah.
she goes, we'll send the keys back up.
Yeah.
And so they're down there with their pumpkins.
Chip and then Rhonda go down the elevator, and it's like this super like gloomy,
Very
like a lot
foggy.
of fog. Yeah, everywhere super creepy, and the Chip is really nervous. Like he gets scared. He's like sitting all the way in the back of the elevator.
Well, he gets scared because the three that are already down there start screaming.
Oh yeah, that's when he freaks
Oh,
out.
that's right.
And that's also when they hear the howling too.
Yeah.
No, they hear the howling while
When
they're
they're-
still up.
When they're upstairs,
and,
but it's only Chip and Rhonda because the
Yeah.
other three kids are already down there.
yeah, and
Oh,
Rhonda's like, werewolves.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
She's like super
She
nerdy.
believes. She
Yeah.
believes in all this
She thinks
stuff.
that all these stories are real.
Yeah.
Oh, because Chip asked him like,
He's just trying to be conversational.
yeah, he's just
Yeah.
trying to start a conversation, and she just starts talking about how
Halloween
and about the festivity of
Yeah.
what it is.
like the entire history of Halloween.
Yeah, and he's just like, okay.
Which, when I have kids, I hope that is my kid. If that's
Yeah,
not my
for
kid,
real.
Yeah.
I don't
She's
want it.
mad cool.
Yeah.
I love her. So you hear the original three kids that go down screaming. So Rhonda tells Chip, stay back, and she goes in, being a bad bitch that she is. She pretty much tells Chip, hey, keep this jack-o'-lantern lit, and
You'll be safe.
You'll be protected. And she's like looking, investigating, and making sure that everyone's okay. And then she sees the school bus from the school bus massacre. That's like completely fucked. Which I have to point out that the bus landed front first, and on the when she sees it, it's the opposite
other
way.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is really weird.
Yeah,
And
which
then-
it was just like a retelling of the story. So I don't know.
But also when she had told the story, she was like, and it's never been found. And then as soon as you go down there, the bus is just there.
It's right
like
there.
right there.
Yeah, and then
It's probably the driest time of the year, guys. Give it a little chance.
No, I think she was just trying to be more dramatic to make it more creepy.
Yeah, so I think when
true.
she's telling her
Yeah.
story, they did it the way she told it.
Yes.
So this is probably not even the way it happened.
yeah, so pretty much what ends up happening is that she starts seeing the mask she sees Schrader's mask
Yes,
floating.
that's when she's the one that she's gonna go grab.
Yeah, and she goes to grab it, and then a hand comes out of nowhere and grabs her, and then there's like these zombies that are coming after her.
With chains on them.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
super creepy, super like they look really gross, and she's like crying, like trying to run away. She's hyperventilating, and then she falls and hits her head on something.
Yep, and drops her glasses, so now she's blind. She's like Velma.
She's completely blind. Yeah, exactly like Velma. And she falls on her head, and then all the little zombies like stare, and it's when they take off their mask, and it's the original three kids, Macy, Sarah, and Schrader, and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, even no Chip too. Chip changed.
Oh yeah, Chip was like it was like
because they acted like he died, and then it was like his
I
guts.
think he was all bloody.
Yeah, and his guts were like a fucking sausage.
Yeah, because in one of the parts it shows as one of the zombies quote
is
unquote,
eating him alive.
eating him.
Yeah.
So Rhonda wakes up and she is freaking out, just scared out of her mind, and Schrader, Macy, and everyone's just like, yo, like it was a joke, it was a trick. He kept saying it's a trick, get it, a trick. And she is not having it. Like Rhonda wants to get the fuck out of here, which I don't blame her. Like fuck those kids.
But Schrader actually looks very concerned.
Yeah,
that's what conflicts me. It's like, do you like her? Do you feel sorry?
That's why
for
I think
her,
he likes
or what
her.
it is?
No, I think that's why I think he likes her.
Yeah, but like at the same time, you know, Macy does say something like it was a good joke, and he's just like, yo, shut up, like what the fuck? And then Macy goes closer to the lake or the pond, whatever, that the bus is in, and she kicks a jack-o'-lantern that's lit, and it falls into the water, and it turns off, and then you start hearing a bunch of like noises, like sounds, like people, like people laughing, and I don't know, and like the little kids from the massacre 30 years prior wake up as zombies, and then they start chasing these kids. But Rhonda is already at the elevator with her jack-o'-lantern, just like sitting with it, and they start running, and she just closes the door in front of them, and they're like, yo, like let us in, like this is serious, like the joke is over. And she doesn't even say anything, and she grabs the keys and goes to she gets closer to the lock, and she just press the button to go back up, and she looks down, waves at them, and those kids are fucking dead. Like,
oh yeah.
like
the zombies are dressed in like their original costumes, but worn, so they look even creepier.
Yeah, they're like all
already
bloated. Like it's so fucked up. Like they look so fucked. And
which I love Rhonda for doing that.
Yeah, Rhonda's a bad bitch. I'm not. She's great. She's
not
great.
even the dick tricked her.
Yeah, and then she goes all the way up, and we see Sam from across the cliff, and he's just sitting there, and Rhonda kind of just walks past him, like
because she has her jack-o'-lantern lit, and it's like you're safe.
Yeah,
you're
and he just walks.
And he kind of like walks towards like the cliff. Yeah. I don't know if he actually goes downstairs or what.
Yeah, we don't see.
Yeah, but it's like it just cuts there.
I wonder if he makes the elevator go back down for the zombies to come up.
Yeah, because it makes sense. Because how do they,
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it later, yeah.
So now Lori's sitting on a bench, and she gets a phone call from her sister who's very worried about her, and she's like, are you coming? And she's like, oh, I'm still looking for a date. Yeah, and her sister's like, well, lucky you, I'm the best sister ever. I got someone for you. And Lori's like, is he cute? And she was like, you could say that.
He's like, he's nice.
He's really nice. And Lori's like, so he's ugly. And meanwhile, you see this guy, and he's like dressed up as a baby.
He's like this giant dude.
He's like huge, and he
looks like the baby from 13 Ghosts. If you ever seen 13 Ghosts, the baby ghost, that's what he looks like.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But he's definitely not cute.
Yeah.
But that's when she's still on the phone, and she like goes quiet for a second because she sees the vampire staring at her.
Yeah, the vampire from the previous story.
Right. And her sister's like, hello? And she'll be like, yeah, I'll be there soon. And hangs up with her, and then it cuts to her walking down this path that's completely lit up on the sides with jack-o'-lanterns, so it looks really nice. Like, I would love to walk down this path. And she keeps looking over her shoulder like she's nervous, but it almost seems like she's pretending to be nervous. And so she's dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood, and she's walking down the forest path, which is really cute. Yeah. She's got a little basket and everything, and then she hears something, and she turns around, and she's like, just come out, I know you're there. And she doesn't see anything. So then she turns around to keep walking, and he's standing right behind her. And so it's a little bit of a jump scare, and then it cuts to him biting her neck with like bloody teeth, and he's like, what big eyes you have. And
it's kind of like Batman, and it's like voice. It's like really like, I don't know, seductive.
Yeah, seductive and deep. And then we see her sister at the campfire party, and everybody's having fun, and her sister's still standing by the tree, super worried. And one of her friends come up in the original 4 and is like, stop worrying. And we hear Cinderella is like, Mom always said she was the runt of the litter. And so we're like, what does that mean? And
to tell you what it means.
And then a body in a red cape falls down and makes a huge thud, and everybody screams, and like Cinderella's like, Laurie, and runs over to it and slowly, like very exaggerated, pulls
super
back,
dramatic.
Pulls back the cape, and it's the vampire, and he's like, help me.
Yeah, he's like freaking the fuck out. Like he messed with a bad bitch.
And he's looking around, and he notices that every man that's at the campfire is dead on the ground. And he's like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
Like, I messed with the wrong fucking girl.
Yep.
Fun fact, that's the part where when they pan and they show everybody or every guy dead, there's in a little corner that you see a dead the hot dog. The hot dog guy from the party.
Oh, yeah.
That's where it's right there.
Yeah, he's right there. And
so,
it's an empty suit,
Yeah,
too.
it's empty, too. So what happened to the guy?
Yeah, but there's a bunch of, like, guys, there's some without costumes and some with costumes, and all of their throats are slit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. That's cool.
That's when Cinderella bends down and pulls out the vampire's teeth, so you learn that he's not a real vampire. Mm-hmm. Then she pulls off his mask, and it ends up being the principal.
Yeah, Principal Wilkins. Yeah, Wilkins.
Also Steven, first name.
Yeah, and then she pulls off the hood, and his leg is broken so bad.
A bone is sticking out.
Oh my God.
So nasty.
It's
Nasty.
That's when Laurie comes out from the forest, and she's looking like a bad bitch.
And can I say something?
Yeah.
She comes out of the forest, and she looked like she stopped at the salon and got her hair did before she showed up to her sister's
I know, right?
Yeah.
She had her hair in pigtails all curled for the costume, and now it looks like the pigtails came out, so now her hair is like sexy and curly.
She looks so hot.
It's just when you have pigtails, you can still see the things from the scrunchie, so she looks like she literally is like, oh, hold on, let me take these off. Let me curl this hair up real quick again. Can you fix this for me, please? Thank you. Okay. My scene, I'm coming.
Yeah, they obviously did hair and makeup.
Definitely.
And you see her very bloody, too.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that the vampire was sucking on her.
Yeah, for sure.
Sucking.
Whoa. Maybe she was sucking on him too.
No.
Then she talks to her sister, and she's like, I'm nervous. It's my first time. And her sister's like, you'll do fine. Just get in there.
Yeah.
And so she gets on top of him.
Bitch. Boing.
Hey.
I'm sorry. She's hot.
You should be sorry.
And the song "Sweet Dreams Are Made of This" by Marilyn Manson.
It's such a good cover.
I love this song.
It's a cover. It's
it's
not
a
by
cover.
Marilyn
Yes,
Manson,
yeah.
But it's so good. She's like, it's my first time, so bear with me. And then she starts like slowly undressing him, and all of the girls start dancing and like very sensually touching themselves and undressing very slowly. And then they start undressing, but it's their skin that they're undressing.
It looks so good too.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And then
my gosh.
Laurie's really getting into like her man kind of, and so she like tilts her head back, and you can see that she's starting to turn into a wolf, and it looks so good on her.
It's just like the makeup. I love practical effects.
Yeah.
Like in this movie does it perfect. Like when she
So
like when they
good.
rip their skin, they're like literally grabbing her skin and it's like a sleeve, and
Yeah.
then like all you see is like hair underneath,
Yeah.
like slimy. Oh, it looks so good. And the werewolves look really good.
No,
I
they do.
love the
I
werewolf.
do
film.
have a fact. I don't know how true it is. This is. Don't
Don't worry,
quote
this is not
me
the
on
100%.
this. So
Episode, yeah.
I heard that. Well, I didn't hear. I read on the internet that the special effects on the werewolves are done by the same people who did the werewolves on Underworld, the trilogy with the werewolves.
Oh.
So that's why if you look at the movie, at this movie, and then you look at Underworld, there's a little similarities
they do
on the
look
werewolves.
alike.
They
Yes.
kind of look alike.
Yeah.
You guys are over here like, oh, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're
Oh.
talking about.
I'm telling you, baby, they're so hot. Like the main girl from Underworld is piece of
Yeah.
art.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You too, baby. I love
But
you.
yeah, cause he so they use practical effects and part CG, and the reason why because the director says that CGI transformations are trash.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So
it's
he
never looks good.
so he did most of it practical. Some of it is CGI, and you could tell.
Yeah, you could tell.
You could tell some of it, but it's not all CGI.
No, it looks really good. I love when they're just ripping their
Yeah.
like their leg pants. Like oh,
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Like I said, it looks just like they keep undressing their clothes.
yeah, it's so sick.
Yeah.
But
I think what makes this part so good, this scene, is just the song in the background.
Yeah.
and just like
And they're
sure.
all being very sensual
Yes.
about
Oh, yeah.
undressing and taking their skin
this
off.
is a very powerful scene. Like
Yeah.
this is, I feel like it's how you can write a really strong, because they're all like strong women,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you know, there's nothing like. There's no agenda to it. Like it doesn't feel like they're just writing strong women to just write strong women.
Yeah,
like
it's
this
not,
is
it doesn't have a feminist agenda,
yeah.
but it's a very strong woman scene.
Exactly, and they're using their sexuality to
Yeah.
lure these men, and then they use it as a weapon, pretty much. And it's fucking awesome. I mean, there's titties, fucking titties everywhere, and it's great. But it's a great scene. I think this scene was a very powerful.
But they're
really
also not
well-made
using them
scene.
to like sexualize them. They're using their
No.
sexuality to get you to basically kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I want to be part of their pack. You guys have gay men.
So
Let me
then,
know.
right before she turns into a full-on wolf, she bends down and in his ear she goes, "My, what big eyes you have."
yeah, because he's fucking scared. It's like, what the fuck?
And it's also what he said to her before he tried killing her.
Yeah.
And then also it's a nod to the fact that she was Little Red Riding Hood and now she's turning into the big bad
Yeah,
wolf.
which is such
Oh
a
my God,
nice.
that's so-
Such good irony.
Yeah, it's
Love it.
great. And this scene also has like a really good transition because while he's, you know, she's killing the professor, the
Yeah.
vampire slash vampire, you see Sam sitting in the corner.
Vampire.
Or professor slash vampire. But you see Sam sitting in the corner.
Yeah, just
and-
looking and like with his little feet kind of like dangling. Like,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
really
fun.
cute. And but it's really cool because it goes like it shows like the shape of his head and it slowly fades into
Into
the
the
full
moon.
moon.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then-
that was really cool.
yeah, that was a really good
And
shot.
we get the next and final story.
Yeah, this is the final story, which we see the three kids from the original, the first story that run away from the Emma, was it?
Yeah, from Emma.
Oh, yeah,
Emma
yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
We see them knocking on this house, and then all you see is the door opens like almost by itself, and it's just like a dark corridor,
Mhm.
and you see like green eyes, and it starts chasing the kids, and the kids get scared and run away, and then it finds out that this is the Principal Wilkes'
Next
neighbor,
Yes.
the one that showed up and was complaining about the
Mr. Krieg. This is-
about
yeah.
Mr. Krieg. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, that was his name.
Yeah, but the dog's name is Spite,
It's
and that is so
This whole
cute.
That's
all
like
these
great.
years, I thought it was Spike. I was like, oh,
Me
Spike.
too, me
I was
too.
like, oh, Spite.
Yeah,
Duh.
but yeah, it's really cute. And pretty much, Mr. Krieg is stealing the kids' candy.
Yeah.
He's kind of like having fun with like scaring away these kids from Halloween because he's just like this grumpy old man. Then he's just sitting watching some infomercials.
He does it so that he can steal their candy.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're watching some infomercials, and he starts eating the candy. He's just like, ugh, like this tastes gross, and he puts it to the side. And then the dog starts barking, Spite, and
But you can tell he does not like Halloween.
yeah,
Like
no,
he hates it too.
I want to point that out. He's watching the infomercial because he's like going through every channel.
yeah,
And everything's Halloween except the infomercial. So he just like, ugh.
Yeah,
and then
keeps it there.
Yeah, and he keeps the candy bar and he just takes like a bite and then he just puts it down.
Yeah, he puts it down, and then Spike starts, growling, and he's looking out the window. When he looks outside, there's just someone that's running around, which you can tell it's Sam because it's like an orange costume. And then
you hear the giggles.
Yeah, you hear the giggles, and then he throws like an egg at his window, and it's like this super. Yeah, he's like a little prankster, like what the fuck. And then you hear that it gets kind of like suspenseful because you start hearing like giggles everywhere, and he's just kind of scared. He goes outside and he's like, "What the fuck?" And there's a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns like decorating his house that weren't there before.
Which I didn't get that.
It's just, I think, because it's like the non-believer, and then he's making him believe that, which I think that's the whole point.
Yeah.
He doesn't like Halloween. He doesn't have any decorations. He's also stealing candy from kids.
Exactly.
So what is Sam gonna do?
Exactly.
Sam's gonna
He's coming for that
Which
throat.
I want to theorize that I think all those jack-o'-lanterns came from Rhonda's house.
Looks like
Which
it.
I'm gonna theorize that I feel like Rhonda believes in Sam, knows about Sam. Maybe we don't know, and he just like, I'm gonna borrow your pumpkins real quick, girl. I'll bring them back tomorrow.
And Rhonda's like,
be right back.
Because
do you?
the house almost looks exactly like Rhonda's when it zooms out, and for a second I was almost like, I wonder if Rhonda comes out of that house. But then we had rewinded.
Yeah.
Rewound?
Rewind.
Rewind.
Grammar.
So we looked back, and Rhonda had a white picket fence where he has like a black
Which
wire
I wonder
fence.
if that's like some symbolism. Like it's like the opposite, because Rhonda's very into Halloween and he's not.
And his house looks creepier than hers.
Yeah. His is like run down.
Run down. He doesn't do his yard. There's just branches and trees and grass going everywhere.
Yeah. So it's really cool. There's a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns everywhere, and then he doesn't get scared, but he's like freaked out a little bit about it. So he grabs a shotgun and he's just like walking around his house, pointing the shotgun. You don't see anything, and then he goes into his room, and all you see is like the bed, kind of like, or under the sheets, something's moving.
But the reason he goes upstairs is because after he opens the door and he looks back inside, he sees Spike barking, looking upstairs. Like there's somebody upstairs.
Yeah.
And since he lives by himself, he's like, oh shit, something's not right. That's why he goes upstairs into his room.
Yeah. And then that's when you start seeing that something's moving under his bed, or on his bed. And then when he takes out the sheets, there's like a hand just sitting there.
Hand.
Yeah. And I don't even think it's an animatronic, because it looks like he literally like someone's has a hole on the
It just
bed.
looks like a robotic hand.
Yeah.
From our point of view.
It reminds me of when, I don't know if you remember, you guys, when we were younger, the little toys that you would like wind them.
Oh,
That's what it reminds me of.
What it reminded me of was, those bowls that they have where when you stick your hand in and it grabs your hand?
That too.
Could be either one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of like, what the fuck? And then a pump, which I don't even know if it was already there, but there was like a pumpkin in his room, and it just lights on fire, and it lights the house, like, or the room, because it's like completely dark.
Especially that corner.
Yeah, and then like his walls are like written with "trick or treat, give me something good to eat and blood."
Yeah, it's like all over his room. So then we see, we don't see it, but we just see the hand of Sam cutting his Achilles tendon, which fucking sucks. Like that is
That looks so painful.
it looks rough.
Yes.
And he just fucking falls on his back, screaming in pain, and all you see is Sam's hand not like waking up, but it's like that, I don't know, it kind of reminded me like the old horror, like someone coming out of a burial, and it's like his hand reaching up, and then he like crawls up the bed.
What
and
if it's like Evil Dead coming out of the ground?
It could be, honestly.
Hey,
because when he cuts his ankle, it reminds me of Child's Play 3 when Chucky comes from under the bed and slices Andy's.
And I would not be surprised, because
That's
this movie has so many homages.
Yeah, that's a huge motif in a lot of like undead movies where you just see the hand. It's in Jaws.
It's
a lot of.
It's almost like a cliche at this point, but like it's it's a
I feel like that's what this movie
for.
is for.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
And
pretty much we see Sam that had cut him with something, and he has a candy bar in his hand, and then he like kind of like peels it like a banana, and then like he peels the wrapper, and it's like a candy bar, like a Snickers bar, like oversized, to be honest, king size probably, and it has a switchblade.
Not sponsored by Snickers.
No, not sponsored, but you can. And he has like a not a switchblade.
It's like a box cutter inside of the bar.
Yeah, and it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Which it's the whole, check your candy before you eat it because of the whole.
So earlier in the movie, when Sam grabs candy from Mr. Wilkins, it's that same candy bar, showing that Mr. Wilkins puts a blade in there to fucking chop somebody's mouth.
Because he's the one that's poisoning kids and all that shit. So he's literally using it as a weapon.
Yes.
So then you see Mr. Krieg on the floor, grabs the shotgun and just goes to shoot Sam, but he actually shoots a pumpkin that's already in the room.
Yeah, and the room cuts to black and Sam disappeared.
Yeah, he's completely gone. So he starts kind of crawling all the way he starts running, trying to run down the stairs, and he falls, and there's like a bunch of candy with blades and glass all over them, and his hands are all fucked up.
Very Home Alone, but in your own house.
Exactly.
He Home Alone himself.
Yeah, it's really gruesome because you see like his hands just covered in blood.
And it hurts my hands because I know like when you get a cut in your hand, you can't really move it, and you're just like, I'm very dramatic. So any little cut, I'm like, oh my god, I can't use my hands. I can't go to work today. Sorry.
Yeah, like you have to take the day off for sure. So he goes to try to open the lock because I just realized he locked himself in the house, but he's like trying to take out the like little locks that he has in the house.
Your house should be locked.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Can we talk about how he does have more than 2 locks, which is what normal people do?
He has like
20.
the 4 chains and the very, very dramatic.
Yeah, and then he's trying to get it, but then he, obviously his hands are all fucked up, so he can't really, unlock his door.
I want to say with that many locks, you can tell that he's paranoid about something.
Yes,
that's true.
Yes.
Which we'll see why later.
Yeah. So then we see that he looks out the window, and wouldn't you know it, we see Principal Wilkins walking away from the scene of his story.
Yeah.
That he sees them screaming for help. So you see the other side of that perspective, and then all you see is Principal Wilkins say something, and then he walks away. And what attacked the neighbor was actually Sam, which we didn't see earlier. So then you start seeing this fucking this battle.
Sam
is
stop stealing candy from
getting
kids,
up, punching him in the face.
I do want to mention when Mr. Wilkins is trying. I mean, not Mr. Wilkins, the other guy.
Creed.
Mr. Creed, with all the messed up hands, he's trying to open the door. You see in the little corner of Sam crawling from the roof. From the roof.
It's so creepy.
Which freaked me out.
Yeah,
really bad.
And when he jumps down, he's like,
it's like a little monkey.
It's so unnerving because he's so cute and he's doing something so creepy.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really good. But pretty much it's like this whole fight scene, and then eventually you see that Mr. Krieg grabs a shotgun and just point blank shoots Sam right in the fucking just in the face.
He shoots him in the chest first because this is where he grabs him by the mask and rips his mask off, revealing his actual face.
Yes, which is like he reveals his face, and it's like
he's like pumpkin head.
Yeah,
it's like a pumpkin
like
head.
An alien old lady pumpkin head.
Yeah,
so
it has it's like the shape of a skull almost,
but in pumpkin form, if that makes sense.
Which, by the way, I don't mind it. I still think he's adorable.
Yeah, he still looks cute.
I think he's adorable.
It's like creepy but pretty cute.
Yes.
And then he point blank shoots him right in the chest, and it's the funniest scene where it's like a long shot of the hallway, and he just slides into frame.
the door.
He's like a little ragdoll.
Yeah, it's really cute. So
which made me very sad. I'm like, oh, why would you hurt him?
I know.
And he did shoot off his hand, so now he's
now he goes up and shoots him once in the chest, and then he shoots him in the hand. It literally like bursts into like pumpkin guts.
Yes.
Which is really interesting.
That's
it's really
very cool.
And so he's like, all right, he's not moving. He goes and Professor Krieg grabs the phone, calls 911, and once they do get the 911 call, you see that the phone line gets cut.
He was struggling taking out those locks with all the glass in his hand.
Yeah.
And then he just does a rotary phone.
And he can also shoot a shotgun, which he clocks. So.
Oh my god, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, why were you struggling with the door when with the phone you're over here like nothing ever happened?
Like,
I guess his adrenaline was going down.
Yeah, I guess
fight,
so.
Yeah, but you literally have to stick your finger into that, and if you can't even undo locks.
Yeah, and it's like the hands not covered in blood.
No.
It's just like I think it was just like a little mistake.
Yeah.
But pretty much the phone line gets cut, so he doesn't get to finish the 911 call. And he looks at Sam, and he's just still sitting there. But then you see it's Sam's hand just kind of walking dead, or I'm sorry, not walking dead, Evil Dead, kind of walking around everywhere. Really
it's
cute.
like the thing from Addams Family.
Yeah.
Yes.
It also reminded me of a Coraline at the end. Where it's the wiry hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The wiry hand from the ending of the movie.
other mom.
Yeah. And then it kind of goes back, and he kind of regenerates. Sam regenerates.
Well, the hand stabs the guy's shoulder, doesn't it? Real quick, and then he throws off he like shoves the hand.
Yeah,
off
with
of
the
him.
candy.
Oh,
yes.
You're
so
right.
the hand stabs him in the shoulder. He like flicks it off and that's when it reattaches to Sam.
Yeah,
Sam
it reattaches to Sam. He gets up.
Puts on his actual mask, which is already now broken.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I really like the look that it's open, and you see a little bit of his face.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is when you see that Mr. Krieg falls over.
Yeah.
And he's like pretty much kind of pleading for help.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of, he kind of just accepted his death at this point. And then I love this scene because it kind of reminds me like a Michael Myers.
Yeah, because he goes up with the...
Yeah, and he kind of does like the little head tilt. It's really cute. And then he grabs the lollipop and he bites into it because this is the lollipop from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's a whole shape.
But let's put out there also that when he falls back, he kind of like breaks everything that he had like in the little like stand
His
the little table.
Yeah.
Well,
and he had like a little table.
Yeah,
and
he wanted to get the bottle
the
to
bottle,
protect himself.
yes. But when that happened, everything else falls over, and you see the candy bar he was munching on was he was watching TV. It falls on his lap.
Yeah.
Which that's very important to what's about to happen now.
Yeah. So then he goes to he takes a bite of his lollipop. Then it has the classic shape of like
a shredded lollipop.
Yeah, it's got like a sharp end that he could stab with.
Yeah, so he like raises his hand slowly,
Which
and
is like
then,
Michael Myers.
just like Michael Myers. It's great. And then he like goes to stab him, and Krieg kind of like closes his eyes and he opens them, and he actually stabbed his candy.
Yeah,
and then
not
Sam,
his dick.
yeah, not his dick,
It
the
does
candy.
look like it's
And then Sam kind of like looks at the candy bar, sniffs it, and then he like eats it, and he
Walks
just
away.
walks away.
Yeah.
And
the door opens magically.
yeah,
for him, like-
the door just opens magically, and he just walks right out the door.
Which I did not get.
Yeah, at first I didn't understand it, but then Franky had like a pretty good explanation for it.
Yes. The reason why I think Sam did not kill him is because if you guys notice, when he goes to stab him, he looks like he's about to stab him in the dick. He actually stabs the candy. He sniffs the candy.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm pretty sure Sam knew that the candy bar that Mr. Wilkin gave him had something in it. There was something in it
Which
wrong.
was the blade.
Which is the blade. And this one, when he smells it and he takes a bite, it's an actual normal candy. Right? So, what's one of the rules that Sam has? Give candy to the trick-or-treaters. So, basically, in a sense, Sam is a trick-or-treater because he's trick-or-treating all around.
Yeah.
So, when he basically grabbed the candy or stabbed the candy from his lab, it kind of like shows up as
Trick or treat.
trick or
Give me
treat.
something
Like
good to eat.
it was
Yeah.
it was a treat. It was a trick, but also but he gave him the candy because it fell from his lap.
Which now,
over.
if you go back to before where he killed the dog off screen and he wrote "Trick or treat, give me something good to eat all over the room." That's all he wanted.
He's
It's like an offering.
Yeah,
Yeah. Offering to himself.
He's a trick or treater. That's
Yeah.
the whole point.
Yeah, and that's honestly that's a great. I didn't even get that the
Yeah.
first time I watched it, and even
I
the
didn't
third
get it
time.
now.
And this is when we get the reveal that Mr. Krieg
Yes.
is actually the bus driver from the bus massacre that happened 30 years ago.
Yeah, because
And-
there's a photo with him and all of the kids from the bus, and
Being
it's
burnt.
in the fireplace being
Yeah.
burnt.
He's
And
kind of
in-
like burning his
in-
memories. away.
which I think this is why he hates Halloween, because it's the anniversary of
And
that.
it's also
Yeah.
probably why he has so many locks.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly. And then he's super paranoid. Like, I mean, those kids are like his responsibility. I
Yeah.
mean, even though the family were the ones that wanted those,
paid him. Yeah.
but it's
I don't
that
think-
shit will go live with you forever.
Yeah, but I don't think that he meant for them to die. I mean, he might have. But
We don't know. Like, I
Well,
don't
the
know.
parents paid him to get rid of the kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we
I
don't know.
But they don't tell us where to do it. I think this is where he just picked that place and it happened.
Yeah.
And I think he was gonna let the bus go off the
The
cliff, but he didn't mean to be in the bus when it happened.
Yeah. And then this is when we cut to outside, and Sam,
Yeah, the trick-or-treaters knock on the door.
oh yeah, so it cuts to black, it fades, and then there's some trick-or-treaters that knock on the door.
On his door.
Yeah, on his door.
He gives them candy.
Like he's celebrating
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah,
And he's all like bandaged up.
Yeah, it's really funny that one of the girls is like, nice mummy costume, and he's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And you see Sam staring at him.
Yeah,
and
like, you better give them candy or
Yup.
I'll come back.
little bitch.
Yeah.
And then you see that Sam turns around, and you see the couple from the beginning of the movie coming back home.
And can I say something?
What?
Earlier, he ripped off Sam's mask and ripped it. Sam's mask is fixed now.
At Mr. Krieg's house, you can see that there's some knocking because Mr. Krieg closes the door, goes to go enjoy the rest of his night. You hear knocking again. When he opens it, there's all the little special ed kids from the massacre as zombies in front of his door, and it kind of just cuts to the end credit scene, but it's like him screaming and them killing him.
Yeah, which is why I think that when Rhonda's leaving, he probably goes and lets the elevator go back down so that the zombies can come back up.
Yep, and yeah.
So it's like, that's how all these stories connect, which is awesome.
Do you know why he died, though?
Por qué?
Because one of Sam's...
That's why in Spanish.
Yes. Because one of Sam's rules is respect the dead.
And he didn't.
He does not.
And neither did the kids at the quarry. That's why he killed them.
My what I think is because why they come and kill him now is because he burns the picture they took, of when he was younger with the kids in the bus.
That makes a lot of sense because he was mourning their death until that point.
Until that point.
Because it's like, why after 30 years now you come?
That's
Then I was
exactly
like,
my
maybe because
question.
the elevator wasn't going down. But I mean,
Yeah.
Sam could have let them up at any moment.
Yeah, which I was wondering that. Like, I literally had in my notes, like, why does it take so long for Sam to let the zombies get revenge on him?
Yeah, but I think it's like we can't tell until we see this deleted scenes, but it doesn't seem like Sam influences everything. He doesn't lead them, but he's just witnessing what's happening, and I think that's why I don't think Sam wants to completely intervene with the spirit of Halloween. He's just there to witness who's celebrating and not.
Who's not. And whoever breaks the rules, Sam's gonna take care of it.
Exactly. But he doesn't go like necessarily like leaves a little clue and then the kid finds it and then he kind of leads them.
And that's basically the movie, guys.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Please follow us on Twitter at Horror Daddies and Facebook at Horror Daddy and Instagram at Horror Daddies.
It's everything Horror
Anything
Daddies.
Horror Daddies. All of our social medias, Horror Daddies. Let us know what you think. We're gonna be posting pictures. Actually, when we start recording, we'll be posting a picture of what we're gonna watch that next episode.
And hopefully soon in the future, we'll have a YouTube actually up with video and all.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So before we get into our segments, I do have a little information about the legend of trick-or-treating, and it does have a couple tidbits that go along with the story. I thought it was really cool. So, like most American traditions, it was kind of stolen and adapted from other cultures. This one was actually the Irish culture, which is much older. It was around the early 1800s, and it was called Samhain. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Samhain? Samhain. Which is, Rhonda actually mentioned this, and it's where they get the name Sam from.
Okay, that's cool.
Which is, I thought it was a very fun fact.
That's fun.
Samhain was a pagan holiday to mark the end of harvest and the start of winter. It also started the beginning of the Celtic New Year, which is the Irish New Year.
Yeah.
On this day, the dead were on a mission to possess the living, and people dressed up in an effort to ward off the dead and trick the dead into thinking that they were spirits, and so that they wouldn't get possessed.
Okay.
So, like, they were trying to make themselves look like spirits instead of humans.
Yeah, nothing scarier than the evil spirit of a sexy nurse.
And then trick-or-treating came from the practice of what they call souling, which was traditionally on November 2nd, and that was All Souls Day. the children and the poor would walk the streets singing and saying prayers for the dead, specifically their loved ones, and in return would beg for soul cakes, and which these were small round spice cakes, and every cake eaten would represent a soul freed from purgatory. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. In 1940, this was actually the first tradition of trick-or-treating in the U.S. Can you guess where?
Minnesota.
You're right.
Minnesota. Okay.
Yeah, I looked at her notes.
Cheater.
Pumpkin eater.
So the All Souls Day is seen as the origin of trick-or-treating because it was slowly combined with Samhain or Halloween as we know it today.
Okay.
The soul cakes were usually like little round spice cakes made from butter, sugar, eggs, flour, spices, milk, and raisins. They had a little cross in the middle, so it was like almost like I might be getting this wrong because I wasn't Catholic, but communion crackers, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has like it's like
The body of
perforation.
Christ.
It has like perforation. Yeah.
Okay, so our segment Marry, Fuck, Kill. Who would you do?
Actually, our guests should go first. Sorry, Carlos.
Lord.
Not about you.
So, how is it again?
Marry, fuck, kill.
Anyone in the movies that is of age.
I will definitely marry Lauren because she is fucking beautiful. I had a crush on her when she was Rogue. I was like, oh, she's so beautiful.
Oh, you mean Lori?
Yeah, Lori.
Yeah, no, not Lauren.
Oh,
not
Lori.
Lauren.
Yeah, okay, Lori. Well, I'll do Lori. Fuck. I'll probably do the guy from the first.
Oh, the husband.
Yeah, the husband. Because he was a freak. He went upstairs and put a porn. So I'm like, hey, boy, I'll just join you. Whatever.
He seems like such a lazy fuck.
I know. Don't worry, I'll smack him in some sense into him. I'll be like, you better do something. And
then kill.
I will probably kill that little shit girl. What was her name?
Macy?
She's not of age. You can't kill children.
I mean, they already killed children in this
Yeah,
movie.
they actually did kill a lot of children.
It's fine. She's old enough now.
Yeah, and then Carlos?
So I would marry the husband from the beginning just because he wants to fuck. Seems like every day. I'm up for that too.
He plays video games, apparently. He's a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'll suck his dick while he plays video games.
Oh
It's
my
fine.
God.
Damn, wife him up.
We're gonna have a conversation after this.
It's fine. Mary. Wait, that was my Mary.
Yeah.
Okay, so my fuck. Ew. Who? I don't like women, but I guess Lori will have to do. Oh, actually, no, the cashier guy. He can kind of get it for a night. It's
He
fine.
can kind of get it. Like, sort of.
And then my kill will probably be Mr. Wilkins just because he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sid, you want to tell yours?
No, you go first.
I go first? All right.
Yeah,
So for my...
you.
Oh, you want to judge me? All right, sounds good. I would definitely marry Lori. I mean, I think that's a kind of obvious choice.
She's beautiful. What you mean?
Oh, yeah. She's fantastic.
I think she's the daddy of the movie.
Oh, she definitely is. She is a bad bitch. She is hot.
But wait, now it makes me think, but she's a werewolf. Wouldn't that be dangerous too?
Oh, I mean, that makes her... I mean, not it doesn't make her hotter that she's a werewolf, but, like, she's dangerous, so it makes her a little hotter.
Wouldn't that be bestiality?
Oh, don't fuck her in the dog form. Don't fuck her in the dog form. That's my rule.
I feel like this segment is really dangerous with this movie.
Yeah. I would definitely marry her though. Like she just in the full moon, just keep her outside. Like let her do her thing. It's like a regular relationship. Aren't you like scared sometimes? Like I don't know. Sydney sometimes forgets to shave her legs, and I'm like, is it a full moon outside?
Why is this public information?
The fuck is going to be the wife from the first movie because even though she looks a little grumpy about Halloween, it's just a quick fuck. It doesn't matter. And then kill is gonna be. I think honestly the sister, Lori's sister,
Danielle,
the Cinderella girl.
Okay.
I hated her, man. Yeah. I did not like her whatsoever.
Again,
So I think that would be mine.
You're gonna die because she's a werewolf.
Oh yeah, that's true.
She
and I'm
ain't gonna
fucking her
die.
sister.
Yep.
Mary fucking killed by.
Okay, so for me, this might be controversial.
Don't.
grown-up version of Rhonda.
I'm sorry. No, this is
No, we're doing the
We're
movie.
talking about the movie. I'm sorry. Because I was going to do Schrader, but he's a little kid in this movie, so no. Even though we know they're older now, they're of age. But
Okay,
still.
well, go look at the grown-up version of Rhonda. She's so fucking hot.
Schroeder too, the
She
grown-up
is.
version.
Schrader grew up to be a daddy. Like, yeah.
Okay, so then if I have to marry someone, okay, I guess it's gonna be Lori.
Yeah, it's like the same people.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking her. I don't want her.
I feel like
That's true.
I guess.
the choices are kind of limited in this movie because everybody's either a kid or
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're an asshole if they're an adult.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. I don't know. I guess it would kind of have to be the vampire.
Yeah, so
Fair.
Principal Wilkins.
Yeah.
Get killed by.
And then who you would kill?
Everyone.
Alright, so yeah.
Fair.
That's fair.
Except Sam. Don't touch Sam.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
don't
not
touch Sam. Sam's badass.
And the dog.
That's fucked because the dog is dead already. Shit.
Okay, and then what was your favorite quote from the movie?
I don't.
Frankie?
Actually, that's a good question. When the werewolf girl starts talking and she goes like, "Oh, I always wanted my first time to be," and the sister goes like, "Please don't say it," and she goes like, "Special." I'm like, "You go, girl. You do you."
Yeah, that's a good line.
Which it was.
Yeah, it's true.
My favorite's from Billy, little Chucky boy, and it's let's carve a scary face this time.
Oh yeah, that was a good
I
one.
love that one.
When he kills the
Yeah.
when they're carving the
Because he looks so creepy. saying
Yes,
it,
his
too.
face. He just looks like, oh my god, this kid's
He
gonna
looks like he
be
does not
killer.
care.
No?
Yeah.
No, not whatsoever. What's your favorite?
My favorite was when is it Mr. Wilson?
Wilkins?
Wilkins. Mr. Wilkins is like, "Happy Halloween," and Mr. what's his name?
Krieg.
Krieg.
Mr. Krieg is like, "Screw you."
Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, I just thought about mine. Oh, mine's is the when Lori is on top of Mr. Krieg as a vampire going, my, how big was it? What big eyes you have. I love that one. She says it real seductive.
Yeah, and she's also a Little Red Riding Hood, which is ironic, and a werewolf.
Yeah.
So again, guys, like we said, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, on Facebook, on Horror Daddies. And if you are on Apple Podcasts right now, please give us a review with a rating.
5 stars, please.
Preferably. Let us know what you think about the podcast. Show your friends, show your family, show whoever, show a stranger.
Yeah, and if
please.
you download it, that's what helps us the most.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Spotify, if you can download it, that'd be awesome.
Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, so that'd be awesome. And if you guys can do that, and we would really appreciate it. We want this to go out for the world to see. I also want to say thank you, Frankie, for joining us today.
Thank you,
No
And-
problem, you guys. It was a pleasure. You know?
And
Hope
is
you
there
had
any?
fun.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yes, for sure. You know, and I'm always down to come back. You know.
I mean, yeah, definitely. You're in the
I mean,
house. You're
yeah.
right here.
We're gonna make you eventually.
Just don't get crazy. I'm the star.
Suitcase, wait until I come in.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
shit.
I still love you.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
then-
Love you too.
Do you want any of your social media tags or anything like that?
I don't know if you guys want to follow me on Twitter. You guys can follow me Franky. It's IEBOH at the end. So Franky Boo at the end. That's it. I don't really use it, but if you guys want to follow me there, we can chat. It's fine. I love trick or treat. If you love trick or treat and you want to talk about it, maybe I got something wrong. You can always, we can always talk about it there.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely follow him, support him, and that'd be great. Hey, Sydney. Can I tell you something?
Sure.
I love you.
Ew.
Fuck off.
Hey, Frankie.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too, Daddy.
See you in your dreams.
Horror Daddies.